Welcome to r/Silver Crow Iazula.
Glad to be here.
Today we're looking at something you probably think you know inside and out.
Right, the alphabet song. Seems simple.
Exactly. You know, Twinkle Twinkle, but with letters. But believe it or not, it's actually stirred up a huge debate online recently.
It really has. We've seen viral TikToks from teachers, like at teacher Rachel Sorsel and Jessica Farmer.
Yeah, those were everywhere for a bit.
And tons of discussion on Reddit, places like R English, Portalers, even school. Plus articles popping up in Parents Magazine, FOX News. People have, well, strong feelings.
So our goal today is to sort of unpack why. Why is this simple song causing such a fuss?
We'll look at the different versions, the arguments for changing it, and just the range of reactions. It's pretty wide.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How could a basic children's song spark this much talk?
Or that maybe, just maybe, some common phrases we use might have roots in misheard letters generations ago. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the traditional song, it's like baked into our brains, right? A childhood staple.
Absolutely. But it turns out, for a lot of kids, some parts weren't nearly as clear as we maybe assumed.
You mean the middle part?
That's the big one, the LMNOP part. It's sung so fast.
Yeah, L-M-N-O-P.
Exactly. It just becomes this one blurred sound. And what's fascinating is how many kids genuinely thought LMNOP was, a single letter or some weird word.
I saw that on Reddit. Someone asked what kind of letter LMNO was.
Right, and others chimed in saying they thought LMNO was all one thing, or like you mentioned, that funny one about fishing minnows. LMNO sounds like minnows.
Kids' interpretations are amazing.
It just shows how easily auditory information, especially when it's rapid fire, can get, misinterpreted by young ears.
And it wasn't just LMNOP, was it? The ending caused issues too.
That's right, the classic YNZ.
Okay.
Sung quickly, it very easily sounds like YNZ.
YNZ. I never thought of that, but I can hear it now.
Yeah, so you're accidentally adding this phantom N sound right at the end.
Which raises a pretty important point, I guess. If kids aren't clearly hearing each letter,
then is the song actually doing its main job, which is teaching the individual letters? It's subtle, but it matters for phonological awareness.
And this whole idea of mishearing things isn't just like a funny quirk about this one song. You mentioned it has bigger implications.
Oh, definitely. Look at the word ampersand, the ampersand symbol.
Okay.
That word exists because people used to recite the alphabet with "and" at the end, saying "and" per se, and, meaning "and" by itself means "and."
And per se, and.
Wow. But people heard it as ampersand and the word stuck. It used to be considered the 27th letter, basically.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So a mishearing literally created a word we still use.
Exactly. It shows how powerful and sometimes misleading just listening can be without clear visual backup, especially early on. Language evolves in these unexpected ways.
Okay, so given those, let's call them fuzzy spots in the old song.
Right, the ambiguity.
It makes sense that some educators would think, maybe we could do better.
Precisely.
So what does this new version actually sound like? What did they change?
Well, the tune is the same, that familiar melody, but the rhythm and the pauses are very different. It's much more deliberate.
How so?
Instead of rushing through LMNOP, it breaks it down clearly, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, pause, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, pause.
Oh, okay. More separation.
Yes. Then OPQ, pause, RST, pause, UVW, pause, XYZ. Each letter gets its own space, its own beat, almost.
So that LMNOP blur is completely gone.
Completely gone. The whole point is to make each letter distinct auditorily.
And the ending is different too, you said. No more Y and Z.
Right. It's just a clean XYZ. No room for that Y and Z mishearing.
Makes sense.
And lots of these new versions add a different final line, too. Instead of "now I know my ABCs," it might be something like, "now I will never forget I know how to say the alphabet."
Oh, interesting. Why that changed?
The idea is to explicitly teach the word alphabet. It seems obvious to us, but apparently some kids didn't connect learning my ABCs with learning the alphabet for quite a while.
Huh. You wouldn't think that, but okay.
Yeah, Reddit had comments about that too, people realizing later, oh, ABCs means the alphabet. This just makes that link clear from the start.
So what's the main educational argument then from the experts?
Well, speech-language pathologists like Carly Cullick are really supportive. She says it differentiates each letter name so children can more easily hear and understand.
Clearer sounds, better understanding.
Exactly. And Jennifer Romanoff from Lakebridge Academy points out this clarity is especially helpful for kids with special needs or kids learning English as a second language.
Right, that makes sense. If English isn't your first language.
That rapid elementopy could be really confusing. There was a great comment from a teacher in Japan saying it would just blow their tiny minds.
So it reduces that cognitive load, basically. It's more accessible.
That's the goal. But what's really interesting is that this new version, it isn't actually that new.
I feel like it just blew up recently on TikTok.
It did. That's when it went viral. But people are saying they remember choosing between different versions, over a decade ago.
Really?
Yeah, some sources say versions like this have been around for like 25 years or even longer.
Wow. So it was out there, just not widely known or used.
Exactly. Social media just gave it this huge platform, brought it out of maybe specific classrooms or programs into the mainstream discussion.
It's amazing how that happens. A simple song change, and boom, huge debate.
It really is. And the reactions are, well, they're intense.
So you have the educators, the specialists saying, this is clearer, this is better for learning.
Right. They see it as a straightforward improvement for literacy.
But then you have everyone else, or a lot of other people anyway.
A lot of other people. There's a real sense of, nostalgia being violated, or just resistance.
What are people saying? On the supportive side first.
Supporters online are calling it so clearly superior, much better, makes more sense, especially people who maybe did struggle with elementopy themselves. For them, it's like, finally.
Vindication?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, but the backlash.
Oh, it's strong. You hear things like, it hits my ear wrong, or it ruins the rhyme scheme, or it just doesn't have a good rhythm anymore.
So the musicality is a big sticking point.
Huge. Some parents are just flat out saying, nope, not teaching my kids that. And then the more humorous but firm ones, a elementopy forever.
Okay, I get that. It's what you grew up with.
There is also that really striking comment from a Reddit user who said, as a dyslexic person, this is a nightmare.
Wow. Okay, that's important. So a change meant to help might actually hinder others.
It highlights that there's rarely a one-size-fits-all solution, doesn't it? Critics argue that losing that familiar rhythm makes it less memorable, which kind of defeats the purpose of a song as a learning tool.
So their argument is stick with the old one. Just teach it better.
Pretty much. Sing it slower, really emphasize the LMNOP, use flashcards, point to the letters. They argue the original song worked fine for generations.
So why fix what isn't broken, essentially?
Right. And some even joke, echoing that Trevor Noah bit, like, if your kid can't figure out LMNOP, maybe you want to know early.
So you can stop saving for college. Okay, yeah, a bit harsh, but it makes a point about expectations.
It really boils down to different educational philosophies, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, do you adapt the core materials to make sure they work for absolutely everyone, even if it changes something traditional? Or do you keep the traditional materials and focus on adapting the teaching method for those who struggle?
Accommodate the learner versus master the standard.
Exactly. It's the same kind of discussion that happens around, say, new math techniques or other curriculum changes. How much do we change the what versus the how?
This whole conversation really does make you stop and think about how we learn language, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And all those little mishearings or misunderstandings we carry from childhood.
Were there other examples people shared online besides elementopy?
Oh, loads. So many relatable ones. Like mispronouncing Island as Island because of the spelling.
Guilty. Did that for years.
Or struggling with kernel, thinking it should be spelled kernel because that's how it sounds.
Yep, another classic.
Or saying encyclopedia like encyclopedia.
Ah. Okay, yeah. These are ringing bells.
It just shows how our brains make sense of sounds initially, and those first interpretations can stick around for a surprisingly long time.
It makes you wonder what else you might have subtly misunderstood way back when.
Right. And this connects to that broader trend in education we were just touching on.
Like with Common Core math.
Exactly. Sometimes these new methods seem, funky or just weird to parents because it's not how they learned.
Yeah, the reaction is often, why make it so complicated?
But often the goal isn't complication. It's about showing multiple ways to solve a problem. It's about understanding the why, not just memorizing the how.
So kids can find the way that clicks best for them.
That's the idea. Empowering them with different strategies. And ultimately, particularly with something as fundamental as the alphabet, the big goal is always improving literacy rates, making sure every child has the strongest possible foundation.
So when it comes down to it for our listeners, teaching their own kids or grandkids, stick with the classic tune they know and love, or embrace this new, clearer version?
There's no single right answer, clearly. It depends on your priorities, maybe your child's learning style.
It really shows how personal education choices can feel, even for something like the ABCs.
Definitely.
Well, that wraps up our exploration of the great alphabet song debate. Who knew it was so complicated?
It's certainly more than just a nursery rhyme. We hope you found some interesting perspectives on how we learn language and why these things spark such passion.
So, what stood out most to you today? Did you struggle with LMNOP? Do you love or hate the new version?
We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts. Drop your experiences and opinions in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know. And if you enjoyed this little journey into language and learning,
Please give us a like and definitely hit that subscribe button.
it really helps us keep bringing these kinds of discussions to you.
And for more conversations like this one, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's Silver Crow and Azula Reddit, Stories Retold.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
We'll catch you next time for another look at fascinating topics.